What do you think? How are you feeling about that book? Yeah? Hey Bookaboos, it is Under the Cover here, and today we're going to be going under the cover of this book. Since it is the fourth book, I see no point in giving a summary about it or a non-spoiler review, because why are you watching a video about a fourth book if you haven't read the other ones? That just doesn't make any sense. So if you came here for spoilers, because there's no point in the summary of a book. You know, that's 4 books in. Today we are going to be spilling some tea on this, so much tea that the Boston Tea Party is gonna be like, dang girl, leave some for the rest of us. I do have to say that I have liked all of this series so far, except for this one. This one was an interesting ride. I think the only one that I think that is complete utter trash is, of course, this Cruel Crown one. I did not like that at all. I think Cruel Crown just sucked, but that's not the book we're talking about today. We're talking about this one, and I'm gonna put it down because it is heavy. If you watched my TBR video, then you might have noticed me mentioning this book and about how I had some feelings on Iris. Let me just show you. So, we're gonna see, look at here. So, here you see all of these. I have went through and I marked exactly every time it is Iris's point of view. And being the person I am, I've kept my receipts, and it is 123 pages out of a 657 book that is useless. Now, hear me out. I believe that most of Iris's POVs could have actually been given to Maven, and I think that it would have actually helped us to understand how Maven got to the end of the book. I've noticed that there was kind of a change in shift in his personality a little bit, but I think that was him becoming more irritated, realizing that he was losing control. I didn't get to see that progress and grow as the book did because I was freaking having to listen to Iris. But people might say, hey, Iris had a valid point. We got to see what the other side was like. No, we didn't. There was no exploration of this religion, of their gods. It was only slightly mentioned offhand. It never mentioned really why they're religious and say the people of Norda aren't. Maybe it would have been cool to explore the whole idea of they believe their powers come from their gods and all this. I felt like there should have been more of a purpose for Iris to give her POV, because honestly, I didn't need it. Most of the time I was like, get rid of it, be gone, done with it. There was even one point where we got Maven's point, and right after we got her point of view, and I was just like, why did that matter? So, her very last point is basically about them talking about how they're submarines and all that, and basically it ends with like, let's go home, yay. Now, you may be thinking, that was important. That was so important. We needed to know that. We didn't need to know that, mainly due to the point that in the next chapter we find that out. That's the biggest problem I have with all of this stupid crap with Iris. Because with Iris, I could have found out more about Maven. I could have gone more deep into diving into him, and everything she does, we find out about through exposition to other people. They tell them. So there's really no point for me to have to listen to her stupid drivel at all. There's no point. Without her POV, we could have quickened up the pacing, because boy, at times the pacing was so slow, and it was just a lot of like, hey, these people are attacking. And other people are like, oh, these people are attacking. And I'm like, it's a war. More than just my irritation with Iris, I also in a way have an irritation with Evangeline. Don't get me wrong, I love Evangeline. She is the scary lesbian bae that I've always wanted. However, it sort of feels forced. We weren't really introduced to the fact that Evangeline is a lesbian until the very, 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 very end of the third book. Yes, rooting for it, and it didn't really seem to be big of a problem because they were lovers and all that. However, it became an issue in this book. It became a big controversy, like, oh, you can't be in love with a woman because you have to marry a king. First of all, you could always just have two queens. I didn't really see a problem in that. But that's not the big problem. The problem is that nowhere in the first 3 books was this an issue, but all of a sudden in the 4th book, this becomes the main big issue throughout the whole book. For Evangeline, this is the moment where she decides who she wants to be. And I am all for a girl being her gayest. Like, when Evangeline decided to run away with Elaine, I was like, living for it. Also, side note, what is it with, like, anytime there's gay couples, they always want to have their names, like, sound, like, almost exactly alike. Elaine, Evangeline, Elaine, Evangeline, Elaine, Evangeline. Like, come on. The idea of this suddenly becoming an issue kind of irks me, as if Victoria Aveyard was all like, wow, I have some gay people in here, and we're very dystopian, so obviously there has to be some turmoil within the gays. But no, I don't think Victoria Aveyard is bad or anything, that I don't think she is problematic. That's not what I think this is. I think that she wanted to bring this up as an issue, and I don't know, it just felt odd, forced, and didn't feel right. I felt like constantly when she was like, if I wanted to be a silver, then I can't be gay. And it's just like, but also the issue with Evangeline being gay is that it's an issue, but it's not an issue because nobody really cares about it, but everybody cares about it. So you can't really have an issue that's a non-issue, if that makes sense. It was just irritating. I don't know what to say about that. Who else didn't get this throughout the rest of the books? When she was going to marry Maven, or when she was going to do any of that. We never really got any of these hints until the very end of the 3rd book, and then the 4th book it's like, I'm the gayest and I've always been the gayest and our plan was this, and I'm like, this does not mean that I think there is a certain way to be gay, because there isn't. Everyone knows that. There's a lot of people out in this world who are very, very gay, but they don't have the classic gay vibe. But I feel like there should have been some sort of, like, I don't know, sign. Because, yes, she's always about doing her duty. But, like, honey, everyone knows what Evangeline wants. They all know. Even when she's doing what she's told, she's still like, I want this. I don't know how much longer I can ramble about Evangeline and all this mess, but to me, it feels like a missed opportunity or a forced opportunity. First of all, The idea of having someone so prominently gay is beautiful because normally those people die in books and TV shows and movies, and Evangeline did not. She got her happy ending, although we technically didn't get to see it necessarily. However, there is a part of me that feels like this was just tacked on at the end because things were getting really political as these books were coming out. And we all know that Victoria Aveyard is super into politics, and it felt a little bit like an F you to the government kind of thing. And I'm all for that. I am totally for it. However, it didn't feel organic the way it came about. There were certain things about the story that did feel organic. The fact that Mare didn't want a king to be on the throne. Now, some people might say that that might also be a cause of the political trend within our society. However, if you notice from the very beginning, Mare was not about that royal life. She was not about that silver life from the very beginning. Even if her boy toy is on the throne, she's still not going to be happy about it because Reds were treated like dirt by that, and then it's a chance to have a new, fresh start. To me, that didn't feel unnatural. That felt like just a natural progression of the story. Well, this whole super anti-gay but pro-gay theme felt just tacked on, forced. Maybe I'm imagining it. Maybe it is me. Maybe I am just seeing something imaginary and I'm just seeing like these gay people and I'm like, this is beautiful, this is great, but where was this 3 books ago? Where was it? Because we saw her brother. Correct me if I'm wrong. But were we ever introduced to Evangeline? If I am wrong, I will go through and I will scour every one of those last books. But I don't think I'm wrong. I think that this was tacked on at the last moment because gay. And I'm always for the because gay. However, in this scenario, didn't really Can we just leave it there? Didn't really. That's it. It didn't really. On to the next point. I love Maven, I do, but I am not one of those people that thinks that Maven should have ended up with Mare. Here's why. It's a toxic relationship. It is so toxic. It is very, 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 very toxic. And I don't believe that they should ever be together. Ever. However, I did like Maven. And I don't know, there was part of me, I knew he was gonna die in this book. I just knew it. From the very beginning, I was like, that boy gonna be dead. I feel like because we had to listen to Iris's point of view telling about how he's so broken and everyone else's, that we really didn't get to see him progress into this madness that we got to see in his last 2 things, because we didn't get very many Maven POVs. It was just towards the end, and then you get to see the inner workings as he's just like, ah! Of course, I would have liked to see him keep on doing his bad boy thing, keep on being evil, keep on being this tormentor, but I understand that he had to die. I get it. I am not resentful about that. However, I felt cheated almost in a way. I felt like his death could have made everything just turn upside down, change everything. And of course, in a way, it did. But it didn't have as much impact to me. I feel like the way Maven was in this book was just in his own way waiting to die. He was just waiting for the end. I mean, hashtag me too, Maven. I am also ready for the end, but I don't really want my book character, especially not the person who is supposed to be my main antagonist, to seem like he's been waiting for the end since the beginning. I get it. We've all been down that road where we've kidnapped a woman, tried to make her love us through torture, and somehow she runs away back to a revolution and we're stuck feeling sad. I get it. We've all been there. However, it just kind of felt like half this book he was like depressed. And he was just like, I guess Iris is my rebound queen, so here we are. Was planning on killing her and then marrying Mare. What else? Last thing to talk about is the ending, or as I like to call it, actually the continuation of a new series that won't be the Red Queen series, but will be the Red Queen series. I am not one of those people who needs everything to be wrapped up all neatly in a bow, so perfection. I don't care. Give me a bad ending where everyone dies and the main character is disabled and just sits in a room alone and cries. I'm okay with that. However, this ending was so open-ending that I swear it was just the beginning of another book. Because she's like, I'm only 18, I will go back. Basically, like, it feels like the end of a season where you know that they've already been renewed for the next season. You're not really worried whether or not this is going to be the end or not. It's tied up just enough so if the network's all like, hey you guys, remember when we said we're going to renew it, we don't have enough following, we're going to have to cancel it, people would still be like, okay, yeah, I guess. But there was so much promising. There was so much that still need answers. Cal just gave up his throne and said that like all Silvers can't have their birthright. You think that's not gonna start a civil war? You think that we didn't just end a war to start a war? This ending was such a non-ending that when I finished it, I kind of had to look for a second. I had to look and I was like, yeah, this is it. This is it. I don't want to talk about the whole Mare and Cal romance thing because it's YA. We saw it coming anyways. And the whole back and forth, on and off, that is just a trope that you have to learn to live with, you know, kind of thing. And whatever, that didn't really irk me. There was a lot of times where I was like, they're gonna get together. I'm not really sure why anyone's like, are they gonna get together? I mean, they're gonna get together. They're gonna get together. There was a nice hot scene, but whatevs. For the last bit of this review, we're gonna give you my ratings on my handy dandy computer. Yeah. Fantasy, 10 out of 10. Fight scenes, 20 out of 10. Gay love, 7 out of 10. Romance, 3 out of 10. Iris gets 1 out of 10. I would have given her lower, but I don't do halvesies. Ending, 2 out of 10. So you guys, that's what I thought of the last book. That was long-winded, very ranty, maybe more of a discussion rather than a review because I obviously don't know how to do those, so. Will I pick up another Victoria Aveyard book? Yeah, I will. Because even notice I did not necessarily like this book, I still rated it 3 stars. I still gave it 3 stars because I didn't like, it wasn't the worst trash I've ever read. It wasn't the kind of book that I was just sitting there like, the whole time. I read a lot worse YA than this bad boy here. Definitely a lot worse. And I think that she is one of the few people that actually make me enjoy reading first person, because I do follow her on her social media feeds, and I know that she went to school for like screenwriting or something like that, and I can definitely see that in her writing, especially the way she writes her fights. And I love the way she writes her fight scenes, the way she describes her clothing. That definitely is a bonus for me. Here I am. Call me trash because I'm here for it. I'm semi-okay with it. Wasn't the worst book. Definitely wasn't the best. It has some issues, you guys. Alright guys, we have to wrap this up, but if you want to join my Bookaboo gang, it's really simple. All you have to do is press that subscribe button, and don't forget to ring that bell. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and if you feel like I was completely wrong about everything and that this book was the purest gold, go ahead and leave me a comment point by point exactly why I was wrong. Tell me every last detail. Be like, no, you're wrong. And maybe make a comment about how little I talked about Mara in this whole review. I think I talked about her maybe like twice. So that's all I've got booked, but I will see you in the next video. Bye!